What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast. And today we have a special guest. He was here about 2 years ago. He was one of our first virtual guests, but now we brought him back because he has some new stuff right now. You know, we have in the building today, we have Gramps from Morgan Heritage in the building today. What's going on, big boss?
Yeah, man, respect Muscle. It's a joy to be back again, you know.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Entertainment Report podcast again.
Yes, it's a joy.
All right, big up yourself. Usually, again, you know, from the first conversation, we usually go from beginning to right now, but we covered the beginning. So there's some things we're going to cover, and then we're going to bring them into the fold to the new stuff you have coming up right now. Cool?
Yes, man.
Good to go. First, before we even start this conversation, I have to say condolences to you and the entire family on the passing of Mr. Denroy Morgan.
Thank you so much. Thank you for recognizing that. And we're excited about the future and his legacy. He's done so much for this industry. The biggest one is, you know, sacrificing himself to not himself physically, but career-wise, you know. When he was at the peak of his career, he put down that career after being signed with RCA Records to develop Morgan Heritage and the rest of his younger children who were interested in music. So it's a thing when we look back and see him, you know, on the Bill Cosby show, making an appearance as a calypso band, and you know, looking back when he was working with the Fat Boys. Many people don't remember the Fat Boys, and they did a song called Hardcore Reggae. Which my older brother was in that music video too. Iowa Levi, rest in peace, and different things like that where 50 Cent sampled his music, you know, and Burger King sampled the music. Like, people don't know these things, so it's really a joy for us now to share his legacy. And I hope that, you know, people that have known Morgan Heritage now begin to dig in the roots of Morgan Heritage, which is Denroy Morgan, and learning about albums like Make My Day, where he was one of the first Jamaicans to be signed to RCA Records in 1983, and also one of the first Jamaicans to really open that door for even people like Billy Ocean, Caribbean Queen, and Eddie Grant. We gonna rock down to elect. You know, my father was the one that really opened the doors to let major labels see that, you know, people from the Caribbean can really cross over. So people are really just getting a chance to learn about him, you know, as well as his love for the Rasta community and bringing all nations together.
That's just a 2-minute spiel that you gave me. That's a legacy and a half. And again, that's probably not even half of what he's really done in his career.
Yeah. Amazing, man. You know, really amazing. Like, I'm going to miss him. Like, hard to talk about it now, but it was my best friend.
Mm-hmm. Was it something that was sudden, or he was sick and you guys just basically kept it to yourself at that time there?
Yeah, he was sick, but, you know, he wanted to just stay private. And, you know, as a king, you know, he has all the attributes of a king. You know, a certain man does not want certain things out in the public, and we have to honor his wish, you know?
For sure. I understand that 100%. Is there a conversation, something he said to you, something he did that you will never forget for the rest of your life, that it left such an impact on you?
So many. With Denroy Morgan, it's many. One of the things we realized, that he was a father not only to his children, but he was a father of nations. You know, to many people out there that knew my father, he was like a father to them. You know, and that testimony is out there, where a lot of people that called us, they felt like, you know, our father is not just phone father, you know, and even when people wish their condolences, it was that kind of energy and love. So it is a thing where it's still a tender bruise in our body, where we're still learning how to cope with it, because he told us so many things. You know, we learn, you know, when we read the Bible, that the red letters in the Bible that represent the words of Christ, you know, simple things like that a lot of people just may walk over and don't even know, or having them hand, or having them house, and don't even know that, you know, that's what that means. And I remember when he would take us around on tour to churches, to really understand that the Spirit of God is not only in our building, but it is within man. Because if you take the people out of that building, it is not the same. So simple things like that, where we'll some of them we will share and some we will pass on to our children. It's a Morgan legacy.
And a lot of times it's like that. There's certain things that's told to you and just certain things that you pick up along the way where you understand, okay, this is how it's done, opposed to this is not how it's done, by just being shown to you, not even told to you.
Yes, correct.
You get it there. 100% agree and understand. And one last question before we leave that situation. Are there any arrangements when his funeral is coming up or anything?
Yes, it's going to be April 9th. We had a funeral in Atlanta, Georgia, where his home in the United States, that's where he was living with his wife and with some of my younger siblings and enjoying some of his grandchildren, But in Jamaica, the government of Jamaica has set it up that they will send him off a royal funeral where they would acknowledge him and just give him a royal salute, So we thank the government of Jamaica for really coming in with the family and standing by our sides through these times. It's not easy. And we're going to be keeping something for him on April 9th in Kingston, Jamaica at the National Arena. So those from Spanish Town, Clarendon, because my father lived from Clarendon as a young boy to go to Spanish Town. That's where he met up with Toots and the Maytals. Toots and the Maytals was his childhood friend from he was like 7 years old, grew up in the same yard on Treadlight, Maypen, Moko, that whole area there. So, the whole Clarendon Massive come out and let's salute this man and give him his flowers on April 9th. So I'm looking forward to that. And then his final resting place will be in St. Thomas at our state.
I got you 100%. But something on a brighter note, I know that he was nominated for the first Grammy ever, and you were in Nashville the other day having something to do with it. Explain to me what happened there.
Well, they have each chapter celebrates the nominees who are part of the chapter. So there's chapters in Los Angeles, Chicago, Texas, New York, Nashville. So my father, being that my album has been nominated, last time we spoke we didn't have this conversation, but my father is on the album, so this is his first nomination in his entire career. So it is even a joy for me to even have fulfilled this dream to have my father be a Grammy nominee, before his passing and him leaving this earth. And by the grace of God, I'll be able to get that certificate and bring it to my mother and place it in her hand and say, yes, mama, him do it, So it's a joy for me to know that has been fulfilled, because he's done so much in this industry and helped so many people within the industry. Most formally, Morgan Heritage on LMS, Laza Morgan with the tune One by One. It's so much music that a lot of people don't even know. Careers that we have touched, from Warrior King, Jack Cure, Capleton, Buju Banton that we've worked with, Beres Hammond, the Marleys, Bounty Killer, Beanie Man, Anthony B. It's just so much. Sizzla. The list goes on a series that we have done called Morgan Heritage Family and Friends, which was inspired by my father. So looking to really carry on those dreams and really continue what our father's vision was for his family and the music and Jamaica and the Rasta community.
For sure. I hear that 100%. As I said, his legacy is crazy, and you could see it from him to the children and everything. This is now where I want to go into some of your history as Morgan Heritage. I have 5 songs that I chose that I just want the backstory so you could tell me how these classics came up in the first place. All right?
You got it.
First one I got on the list is She's Still Loving Me. What's the story behind that one there?
She's Still Loving Me. I'm so proud to tell that story because the maturity of a man takes a very long time, That story was a situation with my woman at the time, and I had gotten in a situation and Peter, my brother, knew. And we were talking about it all night. And I said, John was star, I tell you, man, of easy, you can't hurt woman them like this. And he came over the next morning to my house and just started playing the guitar and said, yo, you hear that tune, yeah? And he said, she's still loving me, though I cause her so much pain. I'm gonna say, Peter, that's a hit record just from the one line. There's many times that we've been in the studio and Peter come up with certain line and I knew when it was a hit record, like reggae bring back love. I just knew that. I said, Peter, that's a hit record. Don't have to dread. Down by the river. There's a certain songs that you can't go around,
This is another one, but this is a producer. I think you guys only work with him one time, but it was a massive song for Don Corleone, and the song is called How Come?
Tell me how come. Yes. That song, when we met with Don Corleone, the first one was The Season, which is the best friend who became my friend. That was the first song that we did with him, the whole juggling thing within the culture of Jamaican music, which I think should never die. But I think there needs to be more projects where artists put out albums as to jugglings, But with Don Corleone, it was more than one record. We did about 15 records with Don Corleone. Yeah, man, enough juggling, man. If you talk about night, now I'm caught up. I need it every minute so much. Baby, your love is outstanding. Come, enough tune. So you have that song and mostly a lot of Don Corleone's earlier rhythms. Morgan Heritage was on it. Yeah.
The early ones. You
Yeah.
brought this up a bit, but then now we could get into the story of it. Don't Have to Dread.
Yeah. Don't Have to Dread now was a testimony of our liberty, where when you talk about Don't Have to Dread to be Rasta, when Morgan is just coming up playing music at the celebrations within the 12 Tribe of Israel, which is a Rasta organization in the mansion of Rastafari. And we used to be the backing band. And even back in those days, we didn't have dreadlocks. I'd have my goatee and, my blood, sides and whale trim and, so it at those days, we lived it. It wasn't a dreadlocks thing or a put on a Selassie button and say a Rasta, put on a khaki suit and start eat veggie chunks. That is not what makes you a Rasta. You understand? Because there are many people that don't eat meat and they call themselves vegetarians and vegans and pescatarians and all of these wonderful accolades and names. But it's the liberty of your heart. And like I tell people and opening up, we've already told the world that you don't have to dread to be Rasta. We've told them that already. So they know that. So now we open it up even further and let them know that Rastafari is not a religion. Rastafarianism is not a religion. It is a way of life, one who separates himself from the wicked and the wrong things and don't speak certain things like an open sepulchre, which is your mouth. So when you talk about to be Rasta is believing firstly in the divinity of Emperor Haile Selassie. What is that divinity? That is of the Solomonic throne and that he is Christ in his kingly character. Not that he is Jesus Christ, but he is Christ in its kingly character. He's the representation of that. One who come to remind us of that we black people are kings and queens. Because after we came out of slavery, we forgot who we are. So he came, God make his manifestation come and manifest to let us see that a black man can sit upon a monarchy on a throne, in particularly the Solomonic dynasty. So that is the first. So it's not because you eat chicken or eat beef or eat pork. That is not what the creed is, right? So when you talk about that understanding, that's what Don't Have to Dread is about, is to free you of those chains. So Rastafarianism is a liberation movement with a spiritual nucleus. So that is Don't Have to Dread.
Wicked answer. Wicked answer. Next one here, another super classic, Down by the River.
Oh, yeah. Down by the River, the St. Thomas that represents straight. St. Thomas, the energy of St. Thomas, Jamaica, when you talk about being in the countryside of Jamaica, or probably any country that has a river or that essence of energy being down by that riverside, You have many rivers in Switzerland and South America and many other Caribbean countries and Africa. But it's the energy of being in St. Thomas by the riverside up in a bad fountain, and I say, down by the river waiting for the good Lord to pass my way. It's the essence of of Jamaica that we were talking about. When you feel that tranquility and that energy, it just feels so good. And it kind of takes you away, almost like a portal. Like when you get down by the river, it just takes you to a different place, a different mindset, a different energy come over you. So that's what Down by the River song is about.
Big song there. Last one on this list here is Nothing to Smile About. How did you come up with this one here? Now, this is another big, massive hit for you guys.
Yeah, well, Nothing to Smile About is a song that talks about the state and the condition of the Jamaican society. You know, things that we have observed, you know, a lot of things that we sing about, not all of them, like Best Friend is just a fictitious talking about a woman, right? So it's not every song is a biography of Morgan Heritage or a story or what one went through. We have to be creatives within the art of music. So, you know, a lot of those are just stories and are testimonies. But that song in particularly was us seeing the condition of Jamaica, and you look on place like Kentire, Marchpen Road, and, you know, all these different, where I say, inner city and in these ghettos in Jamaica, where people are suffer, but they have a smile on their face. And you say, look on the other side there, do you see anything? So even though they might have nothing to smile about, you know, the Jamaican people, the smile is just so infectious that you say, boy, Jamaica, although we have nothing to smile about, we're a happy people and we make do with nothing. That's why anytime most Jamaicans go overseas or are given an opportunity to make it in life, they succeed because we have ambition. And like I said, Jamaica doesn't lack talent. We don't, it's like we're lazy people. Some people start getting lazy, I know. Or some people start give up. But we are people that lack opportunity. Our music and our young artists, they lack mentorship. It's not that the talent is there. Talent is too much talent. Well, not too much, so much, you know. But the mentorship, we have to really help to push that more. That's important.
Definitely agree with you there. Those were the 5 songs. I know another bright moment was, I'm not sure if this was the first Grammy or the second Grammy, when you won and you guys actually got to go up and make a speech. And I seen you were hugging up Luke. So it's like you were saying to Luke's like, Luke, look, we made it. We made it. That moment. Could you describe that moment and what you felt then?
It was exactly that. Like we did it. We did it. Like I told you, like you do something for so many years. Of course, we know that in the movies and Oscars, the ultimate that you can win in that field of arts, right? But in music, the highest accolade is the Grammys, right? Because, and I'll tell you why, a lot of people don't know. The reason why the Grammys is what it is because you're being voted based on your peers. It's not fans that are voting. It's people that are in the industry that critique your work. Real musicians, real producers, real songwriters. It's not somebody that would come on your show and those people aren't allowed to vote. That is not the Academy. So it is the highest critiquing of your body of work. People are saying, that no mix good. That the master good. The vocals are bad. You're flat. All these different things are listed upon the board. So when you see that we have created an album that solidified that people listen in a room and said, this one is worthy, this album is the one. It's like, yes, we did it. Every artist feel like their music is number one now, or feel like this song should be playing. That's artist for you, right? But we have always learned from some of the best, from Thelonious Monk, Jackie Matou, all of our great teachers that has helped Morgan Heritage throughout the years, to never get high on your own supply and to always look at your work as just current. Don't look at it as your best work because you're going to grow every year. You look back, I listen back to songs that I did 7 years ago and it's like, yo, what up, man? So you never know what is going to be your final destiny when it comes to the growth. So that's why the Grammys was like, yo, we did it. We made that album that pleased our peers. And that's what that's what that energy was about. It was just like overwhelming, man. Like, finally we did it.
Yeah, I could see it. As I said, it looked like out of all three of you guys that were collected, you especially, it's like you said, it's like, you see, I told you, we made it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Your energy was unmatched there.
And I come from football, you know, my old football player. It's like, let's go.
I got you 100% there, brother.
Yeah.
I know you guys are doing, or at least you guys in about 2015, you guys were doing a lot of work in Africa. You guys even basically set up shop over there too. Tell me about that there.
Well, Africa is very important for us, you know. It's the new frontier, number one. For all these billionaires can see that we own all the minerals. The world is even slowing up now because people can't get certain minerals for these chips for phones and cars and all these things. It come from Africa. So we know these things for many, many years. And we grew up in the 12th tribe of Israel and always hearing our Rastafari elders saying, Africa, the future. We have to invest. We have to repatriate. So what me and my brothers and sister, our mindset is that we don't want to be caught talking the talk and not walking the walk. So we put our boots on the ground. You know, my brother went and lived in Kenya for 5 months. I do a lot of work in Ghana. I'm actually a chief in Ghana. Okay. So trying to bring our people together because the minerals are there again, but there it goes again where a lot of these people are being taken advantage of because they don't, there's not enough that understand the projection and the possibilities of where Africa can go. Like there, I'm out there and I sit on a gold mine and I don't know if you sell 1 ounce of gold. I don't know how to refine it. These are the things. So the minute somebody comes in, whether black, white, Chinese, they take advantage of that. And then the black man in there, he owns it. It's been in this land, has been in his family for many years, and he sees it as an opportunity. So I'm just sell it for the best price. So now it is a point where we have to educate ourselves and understand that, you know, Africa is open for business, but we have to educate ourselves in order to be able to be at our best on the world stage.
Makes sense, because I know you guys even shot some videos and did some music over there. Which came first, Jamaica, Africa, or Sila?
The song named Africa, Jamaica was a song that we brought Eastern Africa superstar and a Western African superstar. The Western Africa was Stonebwoy, which I was the first one to discover him and then brought him to my brothers and sister and say, yo, we need to carry this youth up on tour. This is our mentorship in building Africa, that he can go back and be a star in a film community to over 300,000-400,000 youth. We're gonna see him again, and then it's gonna copy and paste, and then they're gonna see Stonebwoy as somebody that, okay, look at Stonebwoy, he made it, you know. So we did that. That's mentorship because we are musicians and producers. We're not pastors. If we were pastors, I would end up opening a church in Africa, or if I was in gold mining, I would open up a gold mine. But we are musicians, so we help to develop the music industry. And then we worked with Diamond Platinums, which is a major superstar. I call him, and my brothers and sister call him the Michael Jackson of Eastern Africa. He's from Tanzania. This guy performs. He's incredible superstar. When you see him walk through a room, you just see a star. So we brought that together. Conquer the left, conquer the right. When you look on the map, that's the lyrics. So I say, conquer the left, conquer the right. Africa, Jamaica, that's what we say. Africa, Jamaica, that. So for many, many years, you find that Jamaican artists have always been talking about Africa. The Rasta community always talk about Africa. So it's work to be done. We can't, there in a Jamaica and talk, say Africa, Africa, and some people has not even been to the continent, right? And let's remember that Africa is not a country, it is a continent. So it's filled with 58 countries. Yeah.
That's wild to even think about that. 58 countries. A lot of people in their lifetime has not seen 58 countries, much less been on a continent with so many countries in the first place.
Yeah, that's why we said traveling, and that's what the song Sila is about. You know, we shot that video in Europe, in Italy, Milano, And a lot of the B-roll was from Africa and from different parts of the world. So we were telling people, say, you know, when you take a look in Addis Ababa, we were just telling people that, you know, open up your mind, especially that those who have an American passport and a British and a Canadian passport. Those passports are unknown internationally, right? And we're just telling our people to open up your mind, travel. Don't sit in the same place every day. Go and travel and see the world. If you listen to the lyrics in that song, it say, when you have so many places like Dubai, you know, go and visit. Not saying that Dubai is better than anywhere there. Dubai have them problem too. But go and travel and see that there's different places in the world and open up and see how other people live, how them eat, how them carry themselves, how them dress, the culture, how them play basketball, how them play football. Because it will do something for your mind and your soul to understand that we are the human race and not just black or white or Chinese. It does something for you when you travel.
And there's an African proverb called, what it says, traveling is learning. So as you travel around, you always learn something new because, as you said, the way how they play basketball, where they might even have a sport out there that you've never seen before, and you got introduced to it, and everybody knows what it is except for you because you've never been there before.
Yeah, many times, especially food, right? I remember one time a man say, "I'll bring me fish," and I don't eat fish without scale because I live by Leviticus 11, the dietary laws. So that even sometimes a man say, "Yo, you are allowed to eat chicken, but according to the dietary laws, we don't eat pork, we don't eat shellfish. I never eat shellfish from a barn, never eat crab, shark, shrimp, lobster, any one of them crustacean, them never eat it yet. Cause my grandmother was a 7-day Adventist, so we grew up under that same thing. And then my father find Rastafari, so it just was like the same thing. 7-day Adventist, them collect my Rasta too now, but it's
You don't
different.
have to tell me. Trust me, I grew up 7 days, so I know what you're talking.
All right, so you understand. So it does show you, say it's not a dietary thing because even 7-day Adventists, them not eat pork neither. So if you for sure it's a Rasta is more than just a dietary law thing, or you know. And it's like enough people look at me, Gramps, and say, "Boy, you know, smoke herb, I don't smoke ganja, I don't drink alcohol, and then no heavyweight. It's just what they are since now. I'm getting up in age now, and I say, yo, I'm gonna enjoy life, so I'm gonna take a sip, just a little sip, you know, responsibly, and have a look of fun. For just, you know, me taste some nice red wine, and it's very delicious. But you know, I can see me a chug down a back like, yeah, you know, I'm nothing."
Got you 100%. What I like with you, your brother, and the whole, you and your brothers and your sister and the whole organization, you guys are always looking forward. You guys are always into what's new, what's next. Because if a lot of people don't know, you guys dropped some NFTs last year.
Yes, actually, I'm about to do a NFT drop with my solo. We did an NFT drop with Morgan Heritage last year, which was incredible. It sold out in 12 hours. And I implore people to go and check that out. Because the future is here. Many people are looking and saying, "Man, I can't wait till things go back to normal." They'll never go back to normal. It's from here to the new norm. So that's why I want people to know. So we're very innovative. It's like when we did find Rastafari, we never just put on dreadlocks on our head and say, yeah, we wanted the truth and go find the truth in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and go to Ethiopia and find these facts. And what is the data? What does it take to be a Rasta? You can't tell me, say, those kings lost. Yeah, Rastafari, you don't have more fire. No, what are the facts? What is the data? What is the history of his imperial majesty going back to Melchizedek, Menelik, King Solomon, that Judaic covenant? How research and read people, and then you will understand that a Rasta man will tell you that he's the ancient Christian. That is the facts, because the nucleus, the spiritual nucleus of Rastafari is Christianity by the way of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. That is the autonomy. That is the spiritual nucleus of Rastafari. So people really have to read, you know. It's very important. So that whole energy that came from studying and wanting to learn and know. It's the same thing with the NFT space now that we see that this is a new technology. This is a new thing that's gonna come to a very important point for creatives that do art, that do music, that may do whatever, fashion. NFT means non-fungible token, right? So it's important that our people start to understand, and when I say my people, I'm talking all people of the planet, because I only think it's like 6% of the planet know what an NFT is. Just think about that. So we are still at an early stage. Cryptocurrency, all these things people need. Some people say, oh, it's fake. Oh, dude, it's not real. Oh yeah? When I got my crypto card and when I swiped it, and it was nice. I bought something very nice. And I said, man, this thing are real. So it's important that we open up our minds, because there was one time when people say man wouldn't fly plane. There was a time when you have to take a horse, go from Miami, go all the way to New York, or from Texas, go all the way to California. Now that is an hour flight. So we have to open up our minds and understand that the growth of the mankind, the human species, is at its point where we're entering that part of our life where mankind is about to take another leap. So this is as big as, when gold was discovered, when people was like, yo, gold, so it's important. So even I'm about to drop my own NFT. I've collaborated with a company named Babylon Misfits, which is a Canadian artist. Big up School Ja. But love the
Okay.
Yeah, so I did a collection with him, and he's a Canadian artist. He's a white man. Love Rasta culture. Love the music, and it just shows you what we're capable of through unity. Because this guy is an incredible artist. So check it out, Babylon Misfits, man. I think it's on my Instagram page and of Morgan Heritage on Twitter as well. So, and we're minting that right now. So check that out, Babylon Misfits. So the NFT space is real. Cryptocurrency is real. Get involved and educate ourselves fast.
You understand. So is the NFT coming for your album that you just dropped last year, Positive Vibrations?
No. It's totally, there's no music connected to this, but with my personal connections, my personal collection is going to be different. This, I'm just partnering with them on this collection that's currently coming out. So there's no music attached to it.
So it's more brand, because of brand is where you could get into the NFT space opposed to just music. So you could use brand images and stuff like that to get into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the art. It's the artwork, right? It's like the Grammys launched one yesterday. The Grammys did their own NFT launch yesterday.
Okay.
Which was incredible. I implore all our radio people, DJs, follow the Grammys. Follow them on social media so we can be up to date on what's happening. If you're in the music industry, you need to be following what's going on with the Recording Academy. How can you not? How dare you? That means that you're not doing your job at your peak to not knowing what's going on in the Academy, because they are responsible for, not really, you have certain bars are set, right, Muscle? When they set the bar in a certain standard of the highest level of music. So if you're a radio man, if you're journalist, if you're a musician, producer, songwriter, singer, instrumentalist, you need to be following the Academy to understand what is the latest going on in music.
You get it, because a lot of times when you say NFT, the only three reggae artists that I know about personally that's involved with NFT would be you yourself as Morgan Heritage, Buju Banton, Basie from TOK.
Yeah,
that's the only three that I know about right now. I'm not saying there's not others, but those are the three that I know about right now for NFT.
Yeah, it's real. Buju's doing an incredible job with Crypto Rude Boy. It just shows you Buju, my best friend. It was him, my father, and a couple more other people that I say is my best friend. And anything he puts his mind to, he might do it. And he won't stop until he wins. That's Buju. and he didn't know nothing. And I say, man, they just come from prison, right? And he indulged himself and surrounded himself to educate himself about it. And I'm proud of him.
That's a big, big move there. I know you haven't really been touring for the past 2 years, but you've been busy musically, though. You know what I mean? You've been putting a lot of work in for the past 2 years, because I know you'd released a music video last year, A Woman Like You, and that right there on YouTube hit 4.5 million views. Tell us about that song there.
Well, I linked up with my friend Johnny Reed, because of course Morgan Heritage, we were set to tour, and it was business as usual, right? Like I tell people, that's my day job. That's what I do every day at Morgan Heritage. And then, of course, a couple of years ago when we did the solo projects, we decided as a family, like, all right, what's the next challenge? We've been there, done that. Let's challenge ourselves. What is it going to be like for all of us to stand up on our own? Yeah, let's do that. Boom. Came back 5 years later, won a Grammy. And then the pandemic hit. So it's like, okay, what are we going to do? So some mind just say, I always wanted to work on my songwriting. Even though we've written some great songs, I know that there's levels of songwriting in this game, right? And I said, I want to reach this up. I want to sharpen up my skills. And I met a man by the name of Johnny Reed, which is a Canadian superstar. And boom, me and him just kick it off, and the rest is history. And so that song, Johnny Reed sings it originally, and decided to say, hey man, you need to sing this. You have a great voice. He just kind of fell in love with my voice and just said, man, you would sound great on the song. And I sang it, and it's just a song of dedication, devotion, and appreciation for the female gender. So it could be a song, A Woman Like You, for your granddaughter, your daughter, your auntie, your grandmother, your mother. So it's not just in our personal relationship. That song, appreciate them, and says A Woman Like You. So that's what that song came about. But it was business as usual, I said, for Morgan Heritage, and the pandemic hit, and we just used the time to be proactive. I said, sit down and I'll ball. I said, no, nah, go on.
Crazy. Because is this an album or EP, Positive Vibrations?
No, man, it's a full album, 15 songs, which has been nominated for a Grammy. And I'm so, it just shows your life steer, man, because for me with this album, I've learned so much, the recording process. This is my best recording process I've done in my entire career. The best, the process of the production, just incredible. Shout out to the Canadians, man, because I've a lot of Canadians on my team. I don't know what's going on. My NFT company is a Canadian guy. The artist, School Guy, Canadian. My management team, Canadian. My label, Canadian. So my wife, Canadian. so I don't know. I guess I got some work to do in Canada. And then, through the whole process, then boom, Mojo's home and chilling with his son. And then boom, you got the new song headline for front page. And I'm like, yo, that song they bought. And, we kind of cooled down with the solo project, because once the album came out and did well, and we're shooting videos. Shout out, I think there were 4 videos. Positive Vibration, there's a video for that. Well, Woman Like You, there's a video for that. Runaway Bay, there's a video for that. And we're still going to shoot a couple more videos for the songs on that album.
And one last one too is visuals was If You're Looking For Me.
If You're Looking For Me, that's correct.
But in that one there, I guess what you said is right, where this is the Canadian connection, because you could see the band is not Morgan Heritage, their band. It's a different band that you're playing with altogether in those visuals there.
Yeah, man. Well, it's a different band. When we work solo, we use different musicians. So, that is, like I said, Morgan Heritage is my day job, and then the solo stuff is always going to be different.
You get it. You brought it up. Headlines, okay?
Yes.
We're talking about, but before, if a lot of people don't realize, you guys did I want to call it the first headlines on the Mission in Progress album. This came out correct 7 years ago. At that time there, you guys were speaking about what was going on. You understand? So then how did we end up with now this new headlines for the front page? Now this is featuring a supercast. I-Octane, Rytikal, and Jahshii. Tell me how this whole concept came together, because I'll tell you what I feel, and then you'll tell me exactly how it worked.
Well, for us, it came from mentorship. First part, it started with my brother's son, Raphael Mojo. They were in the car, and he said, "Man, show me your playlist, man." And that was one of the songs on it. It was like, yo, it wasn't Down by the River, it wasn't Don't Have for Dread, it wasn't, the hits, so to speak, that were the more popular songs with the Morgan Heritage catalog. And then boom, Mojo said, "Play it for me." And he played the song, and we realized that song didn't get, a lot of times within the reggae fraternity and the DJs, they get too much hits. It's so hard because artists put out 5-6 songs a week. Those are some of the things that needs to be put under control. That how we market a record, because you have tune that will kill tune, right? That's known. You don't find that problem in hip hop or R&B or rock. They don't do that. You don't find that problem in country. Only in a reggae you find man a kill tune the next tune. Your artist put out one album, by the next 6 months and put on the next album or a song. You put out one song this week, next week you put out the next song. But that's reggae, right? I'd love to see some of those things change. But the whole concept of the headline front page was, seeing some of these artists, these young artists who had something to say, right? But the mentorship in putting it in the right way and presenting it. So that song did just match perfect, And headline for front page, you said, man, I go to prison for weed. We're like, come on, what are we doing here? Weed is legalized in Canada. It's legalized in several states of the United States. There's other countries that have legalized it. So why are we sending people to prison in Jamaica that popularized marijuana? It just don't make sense. A young girl, I get our dreadlocks cut. It's just so many things that people are talking about in Jamaica. So we have to be the voice. We have to be the voice to say something. And, I-Octane has been very verbal about a lot of things. So we said, all right, come on, let's put the story together. So they said the real things that were going around here in the newspaper, they're not talk about that. But they talk about things that are irrelevant, right? So it's just that song to make people say, yo, talk about the real things. Let's talk about real issues. Let's have these conversations that will make us better as a people and as a country. So that's what that song is about. And Rytikal, and just an incredible artist, incredible lyricist, his flow, Jahshii, bad DJ. I remember seeing him on a video on YouTube on a contest, that Unruly something contest.
Unruly Clash.
Unruly Clash, and Popcorn, Popcorn is a good bridge of mine. And I saw what he was doing back then. I'm like, this is going to help to birth some new artists. And out of that came Jahshii. And then he was in some little hot water with some things that he had said in the interview. So you find that the artists them need mentorship. So we have the big artists them now, not the big artists, but in the sense of experience, need to come and help to guide these artists and have some conversations with some soberness to it and say, yo, this is what I think based on what I've done and seen. So if you go down that road, and I think go down that road, it'll be better for you. A lot of times they have managers that are also inexperienced.
Makes total sense. To me, I call this a beat. It almost seems like you guys went back to your Brooklyn roots.
Yeah.
We'll link up like DJ Premier, say, yo, Primo, I need some heat for the streets. And it's like, that's what I envision, even though it's probably most likely not Primo that made the beat, but that's what it sounded like, a Primo, Brooklyn, hard-hitting, dance hall, hip-hop, all in one, roots and culture all in one, and here you go.
Yeah. Well, that's Morgan Heritage, right? Like my father, Denroy Morgan, took funk and reggae music and mixed it together. So he was a pioneer at mixing genres and crossing borders and crossover. Before Shaggy had It Wasn't Me, and Beanie had Romeo and Girl Named Sugar and Shabba with, and Buju with Champion. My dad kind of trailblazed that whole thing. So it's our DNA, right? So you find that, you hear Mojo rapping, it was like, the community is out for blood. When, like, that's that hip hop Biggie Smalls influence in my brother Mojo. So it's just who we are, that Brooklyn gospel, R&B, reggae It's part of the Morgan Heritage DNA. Rock has straight.
You understand? Because even if you look at the lyric video, it has a lot of the trucker protest stuff that was happening in Canada in
Yep.
there too.
Yep. So we're just speaking for the people. That's all.
Perfect. This is you guys' first song together as a group in over 2 years now. Are we going to be expecting anything else from Morgan Heritage? Probably an album, an EP, some more songs. What are we looking at for the rest coming out from Morgan Heritage?
Man, brother, we're sitting on albums. We have albums put away. At any time we can just draw feet. So we're just always making music and just, because we're creatives. So we don't wait to say, all right, now we're going to put out an album. Let's get in the studio. We're always making music. So anything is possible. But we're definitely, just to be proactive and answer your question, that there's definitely an album coming probably before the year, a new Morgan Heritage album.
Definitely looking for it. Last one I have for you before I get you out of here. You haven't been touring and traveling the world like you have for the past 2 years. What have you learned about yourself? Most important stuff you learned about yourself the past 2 years that you've been, I wouldn't say relaxing, because I know you're super busy, but not touring and on that type of schedule. What have you learned about yourself?
For me, I've become a better father, a better man, a better son, a better musician, a better entrepreneur. Just time to reflect and to revisit. Any man that has not grown through this pandemic, that has a career that they've always been traveling, busy. I know God just made you stand, sit still. Sit still. Sit down, right? If you don't look to become better, then there's no better for you. Because if you can sit down for 2 years and not work, not do anything, and of course, a lot of people are still working from home. So I'm talking people that's been trying to find their way. You've been given this grace time to become better. And for me, that's what it was, as a better man, as a better husband, just as a man. I've grown so much, and a lot of reflection to look at my past and say, yo, should I did get that done? No? Yo, should I, so I hurt that person. Why? So there's a lot of reflection, I think, within the human race, that not only Gramps or Morgan Heritage has been going through reflection times, but I think the world has learned that we don't think in the sense of what we need for everyday survival. We've now learned to live with less, So, simple things for me, like going and having ice cream with my daughter and my son, taking them to school, walking them to go to the park. Simple things like that I got to enjoy with probably my first son, Jamiri, which is also in music. But, now my next son, Prince Priel, is doing music now, and now I have the time. Right? But the ones in between that, I didn't have the time because touring up, I said, you were up in Africa. What you do that? Now I've got the chance to really enjoy some of those things. So I'm thankful, man.
Imagine with somebody like you, imagine waking up in your own bed Friday, Saturday, Sunday consecutively for a month.
Yeah.
You understand that feeling? Because again, you're hotel to hotel, tour to tour. That feeling of waking up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in my own bed must be priceless.
Satisfying. And even for me, man, I still am working. When I'm on the toilet, I'm working, man. Don't stop, But we've learned to balance time. That's one of the things, and spend time with family, enjoy that, because for my family, Morgan Heritage, we've really suffered from that. Not getting a chance to enjoy my cousins, my older brother and sister, because when Don't Forget album took off, we haven't slept. So now we get a little chance to just relax. Now we make jokes and say, yo, let's go take a siesta where we'll be able to take a nap by 12 o'clock, like they do in Europe.
Don't kill me.
So the work has been done, man. The work, but Morgan Heritage put in work. I don't know a lot of people that tour heavy like us. It's maybe must be Buju, Toots and the Metals, Yellow Man and Whalers when we know that tour heavy and burning spear.
As a new modern reggae band, I don't think you could really compare anybody to what the grounds that you guys have broken, what you guys have done, and where you guys are going.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. We're just trying to set an example on the what is expected of Jamaican musicians and our music industry, on the expectations and how we should present our artists on the world stage. It's very important because we have the talent, we have the work ethic to make the impact. So now it's just the mentorship that is needed because, like I said, the talent is plenty, but it's for these young artists to listen, humble themselves to the teachings that is available to them. And for a lot of these elders that are the experienced artists to be generous and kind and share it, because some of them want rule forever. It's like, all right, come on, who you passing the torch to? Like, there's joy in mentorship.
You get it. Gramps, anytime you pull up to the podcast, it's always a great conversation. Your openness, your vibe, the way how you explain things is always great. Thank you again for coming to the Entertainment Report podcast, boss.
Thank you, man. Big up muscle.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to check out the new song from Morgan Heritage, headline for Front Page News, tell them where they could get it, leave some social handles, leave some big ups before I get you out of here.
Absolutely. Well, make sure you go on all social media, go to Morgan Heritage, at Morgan Heritage on Twitter, Instagram, on Facebook. We are there. We answer DMs as fast as we can. I answer more faster on my social media at Gramps Morgan, but Morgan Heritage is a bit more busy, so it's a lot to go through. Big up to all of the Morgan Heritage fans, them. But go to morganheritage.com for all things, and there's links in the social media bio. So just click on them, find out where we're gonna be next. Go to Ben's in Town, which is a great platform where you can know where your favorite artists. So make sure you follow us on Ben's in Town, so you know when Morgan Heritage is going to be live in your city. So we'll see you guys soon.
Can't wait to see you in Toronto because it's been a hot minute, boss. You understand?
Yes. Looking for perform this new song, headline for Front Page. Make sure y'all go and download it now. Stream it on Spotify, all digital platform, iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal, Pandora. They're everywhere. Headline for Front Page.
Gramps, let me give you an outro and get you out of here from this wicked open conversation, like always. All right?
Yes, I.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Cuts Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out.
This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinedmusichut.com.